Hello everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm going to be your host today for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I am VooDoo Val. You folks probably recognize me from either being in chat as a moderator, or I've also been here as a host before, or if you've been tuning in each day since this past Monday, then you have probably been following along with me for these challenges, but I'm super excited to be here. Hello Jason, welcome in. Hi Sam, hello Huxel, Anna Davis Court. One of my art idols. Hello, it's good to see you. Kata Jones, hello, John, Larissa, Adobe Live, Lucia. It's good to see all of you guys. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, so much hype. Thank you, everyone. I just want to do like a brief intro to what the Adobe Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge is. As I said, if you guys have been following along, then you kind of know the drill. You guys have been here probably working on your own projects and things, but if you folks are actually jumping in here for the very first time, or perhaps you've been following the streams, but you haven't been working on your own projects with me, I'm going to take us over here to the Daily Creative Challenge page. And kind of walk you through everything, and maybe you guys will join me today. Behance.net/daily creative challenge is where you will need to go if you would like to register. You guys can click the button at the top here and register for our challenges for this week and for next week. And basically what this is a little 30-minute challenge that I'm doing every single day, or every single weekday, rather, where you guys can join me in creating some fun projects that you can use for your own freelance branding on social media. The first day we did Facebook assets, so we created a really cool image that you folks could use for Facebook events and such, and that was really great. We used the frame tool and did some pretty cool effects with that. Yesterday, we made internet memes. I know that sounds a little odd, but I make memes all the time in order to get across cool design jokes and interact with my community, and I thought that you guys would like to join me for that, which apparently you did because we got so many memes into our Discord channel yesterday, and it was hilarious. So thank you everyone who joined me yesterday. That was a blast. But we've got a new challenge today. Today we're going to be creating Twitter banners. This is something that I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys today and going through with you, because I, for the longest time, had kind of a really wonky Twitter banner, and so I'd like to kind of share with you the things that I've done to create and update my banners over time, and hopefully you guys will join me and create your own Twitter banner that you can use on your own social media. So real quick, before we jump into it, I'm going to show you guys where you can join our Discord. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page here and click on that, you guys can jump into here and share your work with me at the end of the cast after you finish your project. Every day that we do these challenges, I'm actually going to be jumping into the voice chat at the end of the stream day to give you guys some voice feedback on all of your projects, and also in all of the segments that we have this week and next week, we're going to be pulling up the Discord during the guest broadcasts and highlighting some of your work. So thank you guys again for those of you we've actually been able to highlight in the design feedback thing. Wow, this is a really nice one from, is this Luewe? I hope I didn't butcher that name, but this is beautiful. This is lovely. This is what we did on day one. I love these colors. I love the textures and everything. This is gorgeous. But yeah, we got a lot of really fantastic memes and banners already this morning, as well as more Facebook assets. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in here and show you guys what I have cooked up. If you joined and registered for the challenge, then you guys probably downloaded the template that I had prepared for you. However, if you don't want to use the template for the Twitter banner, you guys can feel free to just go into File, New, and open up the new document page where you guys can set custom specifications for whatever you would like. I'm going to use the template though, so that you folks can see kind of how I did that. I left you guys some instructions in here, but I'm going to hide those real quick and I am going to get to work. So something you guys will probably want to do is use maybe a tagline that you use for your business, or maybe just highlight your username if you folks are like Twitch streamers, or you guys have a very distinct name that you like to use on social media. This would be a good place to kind of highlight that. And the way I'm going to do that actually is to use like a nice thick font here, and I'm just going to write my own name that I like to use for my online business, which is VooDoo Val. And I'm going to sort of create a 3D effect with the text without using 3D elements. It's really quick and easy to do. I'm going to do Command T, and I'm going to free transform this. And I'm going to hold Alt so that it scales on both sides there. And then I'm going to kind of center this as well as I can here. And again, I'm kind of using the guides there. If your guides don't show up, those little pink lines that I'm using to organize things, you guys can do Command or Control H in order to pull those up and make those visible. And now that I have my name here, I'm actually going to duplicate this text layer with Command J. And on this top, I'm actually going to put a stroke that is the same color as my background, which is very important, and you'll see why here in a few moments. If I click stroke, and the way I brought up this layer style window actually is by just double clicking my text layer. I'm going to click stroke, and I'm going to click this color picker here, and I'm going to color pick my background color, and I'm going to say OK and OK. And then I'm going to take this VooDoo Val text layer that is on the bottom of our top layer with the stroke, and I'm going to Command T to free transform, and then I'm just going to offset it just slightly. And that actually gives us kind of a cool 3D effect there, because that stroke separates the two layers and makes it look like it has a bit of a 3D substance to it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to change the top font color real quick to something a little brighter. I'm actually going to sample this color from the background and then move my color picker up just slightly so we have something a little bit brighter than usual. And I really like the way this looks. It's kind of a really quick, super easy to do way to make your text look a little more interesting than just writing your name outright. But there's a lot more things that we can actually do to spice this up. First, I'm going to select this bottom layer and I'm going to make it just slightly darker. Just a little bit darker so you can see it a little bit better. And I'm actually going to apply some cool textures and things that I think would look really nice with this. I've actually gone to Adobe Stock and picked up a few cool textures. If you guys have never visited Adobe Stock before, you guys can actually, I'll pull it up real quick, just so that you guys can see like what you will find there. You can Google stuff, like I've Googled paper texture and I Googled like marble texture before, and you can just choose an image, and if you have you're logged into your Creative Cloud, you can actually just hit like license and it'll send it to a library of your choice, which is what I did. And then let me pull up the ones that I chose so you can see. I really wanted to experiment actually with this cool marble-y weird texture here. So I'm actually going to throw that in here. I like that it kind of has a bit of a mottled look to it, and it has some of the purpley colors that we're going through. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drag this texture underneath our text here, and because this actually is underneath now, you can see the color of the stroke, but we're actually going to do something cool. I'm going to turn this the opacity down on this just so that it's kind of a subtle color underneath there. I'm going to make the bottom text color just a little bit darker against that background so that it's a little more visible, like so. And then we're actually going to come into the stroke settings. We can double click the stroke for that text layer that's on top. And you can actually change the blend modes of the stroke itself, which is really, really cool. So we can kind of do that just to give it a little more depth. You guys can kind of test out a few that you might like to kind of make it a little more invisible there. Like that one's actually pretty cool. You guys can sort of experiment with whatever you like. I might actually make the background just a little bit lighter so that I can possibly kind of make it a little more transparent. But I actually like lighten. I think lighten looks really cool. It still gives it that interesting separation, which looks really neat. I might even tone this background down just a little bit. Yeah, like that. So then it has like that subtle texture, and then it still has that nice layered effect there with the stroke. And you can also do what I usually do is I will add even an interesting gradient in the back, sort of like what we did yesterday, but this time, whereas yesterday we used the gradient with just one color, just our foreground color, maybe today we can actually experiment with having our foreground and background color be part of our gradient today. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-N to make a new layer, and I'm actually going to name this gradient. Not in caps though. And I am going to set my foreground color to something bright. I'm going to select that VooDoo Val color there and make it a little lighter. And then I do actually like the darker color of that background there. So I'm going to select that as well for our foreground color. I'm going to select the gradient tool from the side here, or you can press G. And I'm going to make sure that I'm set to the reflected gradient here, and I'm going to come to my gradient tool there, and I'm going to make sure I select this first selection that will also show the background color and not just the foreground color. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use our tool on our, oh, you know what? I actually made that a text layer. So I'm going to go ahead and select that layer, and I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm going to do Control-Shift-N to make a new regular layer there. Okay. And I'm going to kind of put that right there. I'm going to hold Shift so that it's straight, and I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to turn that on a lower opacity like so, just to give it just a very subtle sort of gradient there, which I think looks pretty cool. And you guys can do the same exact thing as I have done, or you can get a little fancy and maybe go on top of everything here and add like a noise texture. I'm a fan of noise textures. They're pretty fun to do. So I'm gonna hold Alt here, and I'm gonna resize, and I'm gonna drag this over just slightly. And then I'm gonna use blending modes to kind of give it a bit of a texture, which can be fun. And with our handy dandy blend mode preview, we can kind of cycle through and find that one that we like. Let's see if we can't get a nifty one go. I actually like that soft light. It's a little harsh, but perhaps we can do something like this. We can turn the opacity down on it just slightly, just to give it, yeah, kind of a little bit of grit, a little bit of texture. And then I've also included in this template a little bottom text file if you guys want to. I think I'm going to drag this group of bottom text up to the top here, and I'm actually going to leave these here kind of pushed over to the right side, because if you'll remember, when you make a Twitter banner and you're on the full screen desktop mode, right here, actually this is perfect, where my head is actually where the top part of your profile picture would be. So you want to make sure that if you add any other information that is important for your business to your Twitter banner, you want to make sure that it's not covered up by that, so it's kind of a little centered over here. So I'm gonna open that and just kind of show you how that can look. I think I actually would even like for my text to just be a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna select that top text layer there. And I'm going to select my text tool by pressing T, and I'm going to come up here to the color, and I'm going to make it just a little bit brighter. think I like that. I think that looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's just like a really kind of a simple way to do some very, very easy stylized text and add some information to a nice banner. Mine obviously is kind of dark and dreary with a little hint of lavender because purple is my jam, you guys know. But you guys can go crazy with the textures. You guys can go crazy with the fonts that you choose to create your username, or even if you just, like I mentioned before, you just want to put a kind of tagline at the top. That would be cool. Maybe you have a catchphrase or something for your business that you would like to do. But that's how I would go about making something really quick that will just make my profile look a little more professional without having that that solid color that Twitter gives you. But I am going actually to save this, and I'm going to upload it to Discord, which I hope that you guys will upload your designs too, so that we can see them. So now that I've got this like this, I'm going to do Command S, or actually we'll do Command Shift S, or yeah, so save as. And I'm going to say Twitter banner template, and I'm going to do underscore final. And it's not going to be one of those final, and then final in caps. This is actually our final version. And then I'm actually going to come down here and click format, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG. And I'm going to go to the desktop, and I'm going to save it in my folder here. I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to pull up our Discord real quick. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And in our design feedback thing, I'm going to click, maybe I can bump over real quick, because right behind me, there we go, is the little plus button where you can select to upload a file. And I'm going to navigate in here, and I'm going to hit my Twitter banner, and I'm going to do open. And I'm going to say, here is today's design. Ta-da! And then I'm going to upload it. And it'll take a little bit to process, but there we go. And you guys can check out the banner that I made. So I hope that you guys, looks like Mondo did a really cool one. This is a great example of just putting like a cool tagline, a cool saying on your Twitter banner. And I also love Mondo, it looks like you use the gradient tool on two little sections there, which is really neat. And I love how you've done the 3D text as well. It's very, very cool. Also, quick tip just before we take off here. If you try to use a font and you find that when you offset your underneath font, in order to make that 3D effect, but it's kind of cut off because maybe, for example, the bottom text here, if I transform this and I push it, you can it kind of overlaps there. If I zoom in real close, it overlaps underneath that stroke. You can actually change that by doing this here. I will show you. You can select your text, and you can come in here to your character styles. If you don't have the character style tab open, you can actually go to window and then click character in order to get that box there. And you can come in here and actually change the distance, the spacing between the layers, or the letters or symbols. So you can go like that, and it actually spaces everything out. So if you do that to both of the text layers, it will actually give you a little more space so that you can get a little more depth with that 3D effect. So yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of Twitter banners you guys make for yourselves. This is going to be really exciting to not only see the designs that you guys create, but also just to see what sort of taglines or usernames you guys like to use for your own businesses, what sort of vibes you guys go for when you present your work. And it's going to be great. And I will actually be in there like I was yesterday, checking out the stuff that you guys create. I'll be in the voice chat later on this afternoon, giving you guys voice feedback so I can sort of cover more ground, so to speak, and give more people feedback. And our next segment with Alex and Kathleen, they will be pulling up and highlighting some of your designs that you post after I take off. So maybe actually on that note, we can pull up our schedule and give you guys a look at what we have planned for the rest of the day and kind of what we did for the week. So you guys probably saw earlier today at 9:30 we had Mel and Melody in for some UI UX design. The Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge in the middle of the two segments we have going is what I host. And then coming up next, we have Alex, Lazarus, and Kathleen, who are not only going to be designing some awesome stuff, but they will also be pulling up some of your portfolios for portfolio reviews. So if you're excited about that, definitely stick around. If you'd love a chance to be chosen for a portfolio review, definitely use the portfolio review tab above the chat. And submit your Behance portfolio to us so that we can check out your work. And yeah, I will also be here tomorrow for one last Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge for the week. And then I will be back next week, Monday through Friday, with 5 more challenges for you guys that I hope you will join me with. If you missed anything this week, you can always check out the replay tab and watch the creative challenges or the guest design sessions that you missed, and I hope you guys stick around for the next segment. Should be super fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope to see you in Discord this afternoon, and I hope to see you in the chat for Kathleen and Alex's segment. It was wonderful talking with you. See you next time.
Got all these men writing songs to me. And then I go home and I listen to them alone.